Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is the Learning Hub. If you're new here, welcome to the family, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. Please do remember to support the channel by subscribing and liking the videos. I do really appreciate your support throughout. Thank you so much. I see your comments and I see you subscribing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And in today's video, I decided to just share my experience with you about my learning experience at Constructor University. Maybe this will be helpful for someone who would want to come to Constructor University, formerly known as Jacobs University. So I joined the university in 2018 and I was coming for my Bachelor studies in Industrial Engineering and Management. So what I really appreciated about the orientation week, which was 1 week long, is they would show us the important areas, the academic areas, our classrooms, and maybe the surveys, everything we were shown during the orientation week. We also had the Bremen City tour so that you don't get lost, and we also got help on how to use the public transport, and there was a lot of food, guys, a lot of food. Do come for the orientation week and do not miss it for anything. In terms of the academics, the course structure and the course content for different programs, I think it's exactly as advertised. Of the workload, I would say it depends from class to class and the requirements of the professor and the handbook. Some classes, the workload is quite overwhelming, and in other classes, it's quite manageable. So it really depends. It also depends on your background, like what you did in your high school. For example, if you already know programming before coming, maybe programming classes will be quite easy for you. Or if you did calculus, the math classes might be easy for you. But if you haven't done these things already, it might be a challenge. And what I really appreciated most was the student to professor ratio. The classes are relatively small, which means you can ask the professor anytime, and it's easy to get help from the professor. They also have office hours, which means in case you didn't understand something during class, you can always go to their office hours and ask them to clarify. And for almost every course, you have a teaching assistant whom you can also reach out to in case the professor is not around, and then they can explain certain concepts that you wouldn't have understood in class, which I found quite very helpful. And in terms of registering for classes, I think the registration team is quite efficient because you always get prompt responses if you're having problems with your campus net. And the other thing that I really found amazing was the option of having a major and a minor. For example, in my Bachelor, my major was Industrial Engineering and Management, and I was minoring in robotics. So you have the option to have a major and a minor, which I think is really cool in case you don't want to only specialize in one thing. And actually, during your final year in your Bachelor degree program, you have the option to take up to 4 specialization courses. This is quite helpful, especially if you want to go for graduate school, because maybe when you're writing your personal statement, you can tell them that I did ABC specialization courses. This is why I think I would be a good fit for this program. Or you can also mention these things when you are having job interviews, that I think I'm a good fit for this role because I took this kind of specialization courses. And in your 5th semester, you have the option either to do an internship or you can have study abroad. So some students can decide to go to America or anywhere around the world for a semester abroad, or you can do an internship. Personally, during my bachelor degree program, I did a mandatory internship and it was 6 months long. But then in terms of the internship duration, it depends on the major. Some internships, it's 2 months during the summer break, and then for IEM majors, it's usually 6 months long during the 5th semester. But I really liked it. And the other option is actually startup. So if you're entrepreneurial, you can also start your own business. You have the support from the school, like in terms of how to write a business plan until it at least gets to some stage that it's feasible. So I really think that was cool. So generally classes are in person, so it's really cool. But then during the pandemic, we had the option of having hybrid classes. So if you wanted to attend them from home, you could still do that. But at the moment, the school is also trying to have some courses entirely online, but we still have the hybrid structure already in place. And then moving on to the fun activities on campus, I really think the university and the students really put a lot of effort in terms of trying to make the school fun and less stressful. For example, we have activities like the Art Fest, which is an art exhibition where people can just draw certain pieces and then we get to see them, the nice pieces. We also have dance stand for those people that like to dance. And then we have the acoustic night, which is usually organized by Krupp College, where you just go there and sit and then listen to nice music, people playing guitars, the pianos, everything. It's just really, really nice. And another thing is the college activities. So normally Krupp organizes the Valentine's party, and then C3 is responsible for the Halloween party, and then may cater the Oktoberfest, and then Nord Metal, the Ned party. So all these activities are really cool, and I really enjoyed the nice food and just seeing all the students around having fun. It was really great. In college, every college office has a movie room, what they call the MMR. So in case you want to watch a movie with your friends, you can book the MMR in advance and then you can always watch. And I think it's really cool. And sometimes the college is also organized for the students to go for the Freimarkt. It's a German thing where we go and have fun games night out in the city center, and I think it's really good. And I remember when I was living in Krupp, we also had this event where everyone had to prepare a dish or meal from their home country, and people would come and taste it. So that cultural exchange was really important for me. And what else do we have? We also have, the other thing is the university also organizes activities that celebrate different cultures. For example, the Lunar New Year, we have the African heritage, people dance, showcase everything in Africa, or at least showcase some aspects of the culture. And for the Muslims, after Ramadan, they also have a special dinner. And so it really tries to incorporate and celebrate the diverse cultures that are represented on the campus, which I think is really fun. I can't name all the fun activities, but it's really cool. For those people that are into sports as well, for example, I was part of the netball team, but we also have our rowing team. We also have the football team. Almost all the sports are represented, and there are a lot of clubs. In my bachelor, I was part of aerospace club, which was really great. And I was also part of the Christian fellowship group, but the clubs are a lot. So you just find your niche and join it. So in terms of the opportunities that the university gave me, I think the number one would be the career fair. So the career fair is an annual thing whereby a lot of companies come, recruiters. So the students, we go with our CVs. It's basically a networking event where you get to know about different companies, the positions that they have open, even their criteria for hiring. Some people actually got their first jobs from attending a career fair. So I never got one during the career fair, but I definitely made important connections. So that was really important for me. So in case you do come here, make sure that you do not miss events like the career fair because it's really important. And secondly, we have job teaser where a lot of companies actually post their job, the jobs that they have open there. Companies that are actually on job teaser are especially interested in students from Constructor University, so do capitalize on that. I actually got my internship from using Job Teaser, so that was really helpful for me. And during my first semester, we used to have seminars for CV writing, cover letter writing, interview preparation. So this really like gives you help in terms of getting started with your career. And the other thing actually that I really like is in terms of opportunity was the possibility of working on campus. There are student jobs which are normally advertised on CampusNet, so you can work as a TA, teaching assistant, or you can work in the lab, you can work in the college offices. Personally, I worked in the library for the 4 years that I've been studying here, and it's been an amazing experience. So if you want to earn some extra money, you could try and apply for those on-campus jobs. Of course, you can also work off-campus if you want to, but I think it's good that there's that possibility to actually be able to work on campus. And I guess meeting valuable connections. My fellow students actually are important connections and important networks. So I really appreciated being here, the diverse community, which means I'm well connected. So I really appreciate that. And last but not least, in terms of that, I also appreciate that we have access to alumni. If you want, there's actually the possibility of having an alumni as your mentor, maybe someone who started the same degree program as you, so that you can always reach out to them when you're having uncertainties about something, and then you can always reach out to them. And it also helps you, like sometimes maybe they can recommend you for a job where they are employed. So it's really good to stay in touch with the alumni. And yeah. And then in terms of the food, I would say it's okay. It's really fine. I wouldn't really complain much about it. And I think in case that you don't like the food, there's also the option of making your own meal, because every college has some public kitchens which you can use to make your own meal. And we also have the coffee bar, which is always open when the serveries are closed. So if you want to grab a coffee, want to grab a snack, you can always go there. So I think that's fine. And then in terms of the challenges that I faced, I think one of them was language. We do have language classes on campus, but then the fact that everyone speaks English limits you from practicing the language. So when you go outside the bubble of being at Constructor University, sometimes it can be a bit challenging to actually converse with other people that don't speak English. So I would advise anyone to say practice. Don't only stay in the bubble, but then maybe find a buddy whom you can exchange with, what they call the tandem partner, maybe someone who wants to learn English and you can learn German from them. This really helps you because other companies are actually looking for people who are competent in both languages, English and German. So I guess my main challenge was language, but and also take seriously the classes on campus so you can also improve like vocabulary wise. The other challenge that I faced, especially in my first year, was the workload was a bit overwhelming for me. Maybe because, I don't know, but then it was a little bit too much. So my advice to someone would be manage your time right so that you don't get overwhelmed during the exam time. Do what you need to do in the right framework. And then the last thing was homesickness. I really missed family a lot. But then we also have peer counselors on campus. These are people whom you can talk to when you're feeling homesick or if you're having a problem. And you can also reach out to the therapist. I have used the service before. So they really help you in terms of checking your mental health so that you don't break down. Just know that you are never alone. So in as much as I felt homesick, I knew that I also had people that I could reach out to. Yeah. So yeah, these were my experiences at Constructor University. I hope you learned one or two things from this. If you still have more questions about the university, you can leave them in the comment section and I'll be happy to answer you. And if you're a prospective student, you can also reach out to me on Unibuddy. The name is Tammy Siakonema and I'm from Zimbabwe. Until we meet again in my next video, be safe and well in the world. And please do remember to like the video and to subscribe to the channel. Bye.